Hello and welcome, it's Terry here for Tailored Expressions. I am super excited to share two cards that I created using the Flit and Flutter butterflies and hummingbird dies. So let's get started. Before we begin with the card making process, I would like to go over the supplies. We're going to need the Flit and Flutter butterflies and hummingbirds, fanfare cutting plates, frayed edge stacklets, arch stacklets, garden variety prairies, blooming botanical layering stencil, on occasion stamp and dies, simple strips in reverse everyday occasion, VersaMark Ink, TE premium inks in the colors pink champagne, macaron, toffee, and banana cream pie, blending brushes and a white gel pen, an anti-static powder tool, paint. I also use cardstocks in the colors sugar cube, toffee, green tea, buttercream, frosting, and Oreo. In addition, I also use champagne glitter cardstock and vellum. Okay, I went ahead and die cut the Flit and Flutter hummingbirds out of buttercream frosting cardstock. I will be adding colors to the die cuts using my inks and blending brushes. Starting first with banana cream pie and using an itty bitty brush to apply ink onto the main body of the hummingbirds. Then going in with my detail brush, I added lavender glaze to the hummingbirds. But then I realized that the color wasn't showing up against the banana cream pie cardstock, so I decided to pull out Macaron ink and blended that to the die cuts to get the color that I was looking for. For the third color, I blended on pink champagne. I used all three colors for every piece of the hummingbird die cuts. Then, using liquid adhesive, I adhered the smaller die cuts to the main body of the hummingbird. I went back in with my detail brushes to add more colors to the hummingbirds after all the pieces were adhered. To add some texture and interest, I splattered gold paint onto the birds. Now for the butterflies. There's a die in a set that cuts out the outline frame of the butterfly. I die cut that twice out of the glitter cardstock in champagne. Here's everything that I cut off screen to save some time on this video. The abdomens were cut out of the same glitter cardstock. I also cut the butterfly out of vellum. I adhered the glitter die to the vellum piece using liquid adhesive. Okay, so now moving on to the background. I trimmed down a piece of buttercream frosting cardstock down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I taped it down to my work surface and started with the first layer of blooming botanical layering stencil. Now, using the same color inks as the hummingbirds, I started off with Toffee ink for the first layer. I used my blending brush to blend the inks into the openings of the stencil. For the second layer of the stencil, I used a combination of banana cream pie, macaron, and pink champagne ink. I repeated the process to create two background panels. Okay, so now to create some elements for the cards. Going in with arch stacklets, I used the two largest dies and placed that onto my cutting plate with green tea cardstock. This is a great way to stretch out your supplies. You can use your stacklets to create frames like this. Here you can see the frame that was created using this technique. I went ahead and also ran that out of sugar cube cardstock as well. I adhered the two together using liquid adhesive. Now using the largest arch die, I die cut one of the blooming botanical background panels. I die cut the leaves from the garden variety dies out of green tea cardstock as well. And for the sentiment, I stamped it onto Oreo cardstock using VersaMark Ink. I always make sure to use my anti-static powder tool to condition my cardstock before heat embossing to make sure that the sentiment heats up nice and clean. I used the coordinating dies and ran that through my die cutting machine. As always, I like to die cut additional pieces out of the same colored cardstock as a layer for dimension. Now to assemble the first card. I went ahead and added texture onto the Toffee Cardstock using the fanfare die off screen. I then adhered arch frame with the blooming botanical background onto the panel. I popped on the butterflies and sentiments as well. And of course, I added details using a white gel pen. Now going on to the second card. I die cut fray edges out of vellum and adhered the leaves from the garden variety dies. I trimmed the blooming botanical panel down to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. I popped on the hummingbirds and the sentiments from simple strips in reverse using foam squares. I then added liquid adhesive to the back of the vellum and adhered it to the panel and adhered that to a 4¼ by 5½ inch Toffee Cardstock. I then adhered that to a top folding card base. To finish this card off, I added white details using my white gel pen and added pink champagne enamel dots. So that completes both cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found some inspiration to get crafty in your craft space. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to get notified of all upcoming videos. Okay, until next time, I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye-bye.